Morning Internet, Hatch61 here. Out here enjoying the great outdoors. I'm on a 5-day camping trip out here in the woods. When I told a friend of mine that I was coming out here, he had told me about a knife that he has. And of course, you know, being a camper and all that, you always have to have a good knife with you. But I've never really been one who's been really into knives, you know. I do have a really nice knife that a friend of mine made. He's from Rhode Island. It's a, let me show you real quick. This is my bushcrafting knife. It's a Damascus blade. I don't know if you can see that. And it's maybe, you know, 5 inches overall. A nice firm spine and all that. And this is what I'm used to using. But a friend of mine, when I told him I was coming out here, adjust this camera so you can actually see what I'm saying here. When I told him I was coming out here, he told me about the knife that he uses and wanted to know if I wanted to give it a try, and I was glad to give it a try. So here's the knife that he uses. This is from Bark River Knives. After doing a little research on it, they're very well thought of. Great knife. They come in these great sheaths. It is size-wise a lot different than what I'm used to. But then with the size, you can do a lot more. So you do a lot more chopping, you do a lot more batoning, you do a lot more things than you could do with a smaller knife. But I'm just used to using a smaller knife, and that's what I use for processing game, because you can, you know, I always choke up on it when I use it, and that's how I do it. I don't know why, it's just how I was always, you know, self-taught, so that's how I learned to do it, and that's how I continue to do it. With this knife, it'll be a little bit more difficult because, as you can see, it is a larger knife, and for me to be able to hold on to it and have the control, it would take a while for me to get used to it. For 50 years, I've been using, you know, a 5-inch knife. So again, for me to use something like this, I'll show you in comparison. You know, it's a little bit different of a knife, but a great knife. So let me show you what it can do and what it's capable of. I mean, it does have this spine. I mean, you could hit this thing with a sledgehammer and it's not gonna do any damage. It does have a convex grind, which is different. It stops it from getting stuck in the wood a lot when you're batoning and doing different things. So let me show you what it can do before this rain and snow starts that looks like we're about to get. So hang on a second, I'll show you the knife in action. Okay, in preparation for tonight, because I knew it was going to be a wet night, I had cut up a bunch of wood, so I'm just going to see how this thing does with batoning. So we take a nice piece of wood that I cut up for the fire, put this thing on here, and we're going to go right down the middle, see how it does. Very nice, easy. And this is what you want to do when you're out here. You want to process your firewood so it burns better. And even if it is wet, you get to this nice middle part. So as far as batoning wood, no problem. We do need to be able to make feather sticks too. So let me get a piece here that we can work with. And we'll make a nice little feather stick out of it. And here comes the rain. And the rain's going to turn to ice. What are you going to do? It's all part of camping. Yeah, so as far as... I got to bring you in here closer. This thing's impressive. Ooh. You know, as far as like cutting into... I mean, this thing just... I mean, the weight of the blade, everything else, just helps it just drive right through this wood. I mean, it does no problem. No problem. You can do fine cuts, so you can make like a nice feather board out of it. And this would help it to start nice and easy when you throw a flame to it. And I don't want to make this too long of a thing, but the sheath itself is beautiful too. Very thick leather, very durable. The retention strap is nice. It has this little retaining thing that keeps the retention strap out of your way. So when you put the knife in, you're not cutting into the strap. Holds it very secure, it's not coming out. Comes with this little loop that you can put a ferro rod in. I stuck one in there. There wasn't one in when he let me borrow it, but I figured I'll throw it in there as a thank you for letting me use the knife for the week. So basically that's it. If you're looking for a great knife, good batoning knife, good bushcrafting knife, if you don't mind a little bit of heft to it, this would be a wonderful choice. They guarantee them for life. You bust an edge, you do something like that. This camera's never adjusts for me here. Hang on. If you break an edge, if you do something like that, you send it back to them. It's a family-owned company. It's out of the United States, so you know they stand behind their products. And it's very well made, very durable. And I think if you're looking for a bushcraft knife, you could do a lot worse than go with this. I'll show you really brief again, the one I use. Again, this was made by a local craftsman, and I just love the fact that, you know, the way it looks, the way it is. I mean, it's not a, it's not the kind of grind that this Bark River knife is, but like I said, this one has a lot of sentimental reasons too. I've used it for a while, and I've used it on a lot of good adventures. It can also baton nicely. Show you real quick here before this really heavy rain sets in. Yeah. Again, it's going to go through a nice piece of wood, and when you get to the nice middle part, it's nice and dry. So before the rain gets too heavy here, as you can see, it's starting to come down. I'm going to end this video. I'm going to say thank you to my buddy who let me borrow this. Great knife, and I'll get it back to you in a nice condition and in one piece. So, fix this. Again, this is Hatch 61, enjoying the great outdoors. It's a beautiful day out here, even with the rain and the snow that's coming. But again, that's part of camping. You take the good with the bad. You don't appreciate the good until you experience a little bit of the bad. So thanks for coming along with me. Thanks for keeping me company out here in the great outdoors. This is Hatch 61. Take care now.